Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are back for another Faves No Ways. These are like my take on favorites videos. I know a lot of people put them up every month. I have not been doing that. I put these up about every month or two. So I've got a bunch of new goodies that I have been loving recently and some goodies that I don't really love that much, and I want to tell you about them. I want to tell you my thoughts, why or why not that I love or don't love them. Before I get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to hear about my current faves and no ways, then let's go ahead and get started. Really quickly, if you like this makeup look that I got going on right now, I went ahead and filmed trying a bunch of new to me makeup. If I keep the order of when I'm planning on uploading my videos, this Get Ready With Me and this look should be up tomorrow for you guys. But let's go ahead and start off with a favorite. This is a product that I cannot stop wearing it. I don't have it on today. It's not the blush I have on today because I tested a new one in that video, but it's a blush that I cannot stop wearing, and it is the McGrath Labs. This is her Skin Fetish Divine blush, and I have the shade Flirtatious. This blush, you guys have seen me use it a bunch of times in Get Ready With Me's. I've talked about it quite a few times. I feel like on my Instagram, it's almost always included in my most recent flat lays because I just cannot stop reaching for it. It is absolutely stunning. I keep looking on the McGrath website and then on Sephora, kind of just looking at the other shades thinking, should I pick up another one? I love this formula so much, like maybe I should. But I think the main reason I love this is because of this shade. Like, yes, the formula is beautiful and it's stunning, but the shade on my fair skin is just gorgeous. It is a beautiful, like, perfect mauve-y pinky tone. Let's see if I can build up a swatch for you. These are, I hear a lot of people saying that these are really pigmented blushes. I personally feel like I have to build mine up quite a bit, but then again, I do have the lightest shade that it comes in, so that could be why. I tried to build up a swatch there for you. You cannot really see it, but there's just something about this on my cheeks that just gives the perfect pinky, nudie, a little bit of mauve, a little bit of rose tone. I think it's considered a matte formula. Like it doesn't have any shimmer in it by any means. Like there's no glitter or shimmer at all. However, this like matte formula, whatever it is, it's so glowy on the skin. It leaves such a nice sheen. So even though it is matte, it still is just really glowy and just gives life to your cheeks. And again, I just cannot get over the shade. I have been using this nonstop. I love it so much. My first no way is a sunscreen. I actually have two sunscreens, and I feel like I had two sunscreens in the last one. I am really picky with my sunscreens, if you have not noticed. And this one just really bummed me out. It is the Dermalogica Invisible Physical Defense SPF 30. So this was sent to me in PR with their cleansing oil, like makeup remover, and then one of their face washes. And I'm actually really enjoying both of those products. And this, I just had quite a few facial sunscreens open at the time that I received that PR box a couple months ago, so I didn't open it up and use it right away. The other day, like last week, I opened it up for the first time. It was such a disappointment. It was such a disappointment. This sunscreen is so sunscreeny. Like everything I dislike about a facial sunscreen, this sunscreen has. It smells like sunscreen. It is very thick like sunscreen. It is very greasy and oily. I put way too much in my hand. Wow, let me wipe most of that off so I can actually like show you a swatch. Okay, so it's just really thick, like I was saying, and once you get it all rubbed in, it's just really greasy, which I despise. And it just smells funky, like sunscreen, but also almost like herbs or like spices or just some natural scent. And the one time, literally I used it one time. With sunscreen, I know the second I apply it to my skin and rub it in, I know if I'm gonna like it and reach for it again or not. And I knew that I would never reach for this again. But it also, the one time I used it, did not work well under makeup at all. It gives my hand like a really pretty sheen. You would think like, oh, this looks like a really nice glowy sunscreen. Awesome. No, at least on me, it just was so, the main thing I didn't like was that it was so thick and it was just oily and greasy. It just felt, I could feel it, I could smell it. It didn't look good under makeup or anything like that. I'm gonna see if a friend wants this or maybe my sister. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this because I literally will never put this on my face again. My next favorite is the Hayley's Beauty Rewind Blurring Full Coverage Concealer. I have the shade Fair Neutral. So this says it's supposed to be matte, long-lasting, science-led, fragrance-free, and it is also cruelty-free. This was sent to me in PR through Octoly. I really enjoy this concealer a lot. You have seen me use it in quite a few Get Ready With Me's recently, and I just, like, I can't stop wearing it. I will say I don't love the applicator. It has like a metal tip like this, and I've seen other people in videos applying it to their under eyes just with the metal tip. I'm personally just not the type of person that likes to do that, so I just kind of squeeze out a little bit on my hand and then rub it in and like warm it up and then tap it on with my finger and then go in and blend it with a beauty sponge. It blends out so nicely. It wears so nicely under my eyes. It doesn't get too drying, maybe a tiny bit, because most of the time concealers do look drying on my under eyes, and it definitely creases. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's crease proof, it doesn't crease at all, because it definitely still does, at least on me and my under eyes. Every concealer does that though, so I'm not mad about it. But then when I set it with powder, it just sets really beautifully. I do typically have to go in with one layer, and then I do put a tiny bit more like right in my really dark spots right under my eyes. Also, your girl has not been sleeping really well lately, so I feel like I just have really intense dark circles. But this does end up covering them up. Hayley's Beauty is a brand that's been on my radar for a while. I've been wanting to try them for a while, and I'm glad I got a chance to try this out because it is a good one. I'll go ahead and talk about the second sunscreen that I did not enjoy, and it is the Supergoop Play Sunscreen. This is SPF 50, and it's an antioxidant body mist with vitamin C. So it is a mist. Mike and I used up this whole thing. Like, you're gonna see me talk about this in my most recent empties that should be up in a couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. So I'm gonna kind of talk about it again in that video, mainly because it was the only spray sunscreen we had, and spray sunscreens are very easy to apply, especially at the beach. So it's just easier to just spray this on you and go, right? That's mainly the only reason that we used up this sunscreen. It has a very strong scent on it. I think it's because it has vitamin C inside of it. So it just has like almost like herbally scent. I really do think it was the vitamin C. And it was also a very greasy, oily formula. I care about that a little less on my like body than I do my face, especially when you're at the beach and you're gonna go back and shower anyways, but it did feel pretty oily. And then the spray was just very intense. It didn't have like a nice even like mist all over your body or anything like that. And also we finished this up in like 4 days. Like 4 days. Granted, we were at the beach pretty much all day for those 4 days and we were both using it, but we just like flew through this. I just feel like we used it up way too quickly, and this was sent to me in PR, but I will not repurchase this. My next favorite is a perfume from Dossier. I have had paid partnerships with them in the past, but this is not paid by them. This is just me like genuinely loving this product and wanting to tell you guys about it again. They don't know I'm talking about it. I'm not getting paid for this or anything like that, but this was sent to me in PR. But it is their Citrus Green Apple perfume. This is their version of Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue. This smells so divine. I love light blue. I've had that perfume in the past and used up one whole complete one that was like this big. So I already knew I liked that scent and I figured I would like this one, but I just like cannot stop using this. I've had quite a few Dossier perfumes sent to me in PR, and I've also purchased 2 on my own. So I have like a stash of like 6 to 8 Dossier perfumes, and this is the one that right now I just keep going towards, reaching towards, and just using it constantly nonstop. And it's just so light and fresh and summery and just, oh my gosh. It puts me in such a good mood whenever I wear this perfume, and I've only had it for maybe a month, maybe less than that, and I've already used like quite a bit of it, and I am like testing other perfumes at the same time. So if you like Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue, or you are just really interested in like light, fresh, summery notes that are like a little bit sweet but not too sweet and just not even fruity, I don't even know, just delicious. I would definitely check them out. Dossier is really affordable, and they're a really great perfume company. I highly recommend, hence why I've worked with them in the past. Alrighty, my next No Way is just a product that I like it and I'm almost done with it. I'm gonna use it up, but I just don't love it. And it is the Biossance Squalene plus Rose Vegan Lip Balm. So this was sent to me in PR, and if you can tell, like I have used almost all this up. Like when I squeeze it down, let me squeeze it down for you. I just don't want to squeeze any out. But when I like squeeze it down, I'm like to here. So I've used almost all of this. I've been using it at night as like my nighttime lip balm before I go to bed. It is a very thick formula, so just keep that in mind. Definitely go in with a little bit. I've just noticed that recently, the past month or two, I feel like my lips have just been more peely than normal. And normally I use my CO Bigelow My Favorite Night Balm, which I've been using that for like almost a decade now. It is a wonderful lip balm all the time, but especially at night. But this is just, doesn't, I feel like, moisturize my lips as much as it should. And the scent is kind of funky on it. And also, like, it gets in like the back of my throat. You know how you like put something on your lips and you accidentally lick it or whatever and it gets in your mouth and in the back of your throat? This like does that. I'm just gonna be really excited when this is gone, and when it is gone, I will not pick it up. My next favorite is a palette that you have seen me use in a bunch of Get Ready With Me's. I cannot stop using this, and it is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Brightening and Setting Palette. So I have the Fair to Light. This is so bomb at setting my under eyes. I typically use this to set my under eyes, and then I'll go ahead and use it to set my T-zone as well, especially like my chin area. Again, I don't have it on today because I was trying other powders in that video. There's just something like magical about these powders. How I use it is how I've seen Jaclyn use it, where she takes her damp sponge and she just like rubs it in the shades and then she presses it under her eyes. And that's a really great method for using these. Obviously, she made this product, so she would know how to apply it correctly. But I usually don't use my sponge to set my powder, but using that method is really great. It just really sets it down and locks it down on your eyes without being like dry or cakey or anything like that. And I swear these powders add coverage to my under eyes. Like, I will put my concealer on, and even if there's a tiny bit of blue still peeking through, when I go ahead and apply these, it's like all gone. It just like blanks out my eyes. It does brighten it, but I will say, because I'm so fair, I typically go in with these two shades and then lightly dab into this one, and that does help it from not being like too insanely bright under my under eyes. I've had this for maybe a month, and I feel like I already have a dip in this one. This got a little messed up from the moisture from my sponge, but I think it's gonna be fine. But I can just see myself like running through this palette, using up the whole thing. Like, it is so good at setting my under eyes. It's bomb. I'm gonna quickly talk about this mascara because I have talked about it in quite a few videos. It's my last No Way. It's the Lawless One and Done mascara. So this one, I feel very like wishy-washy about this mascara because I used it yesterday. And when I'm applying it, it's a really wet formula, and it's really bad about making my eyelashes clump together. So I have to be really careful when I'm applying it to not over apply it or anything like that. And typically I have to go in with my lash comb afterwards to separate them and make them not as clumpy. However, I really like how my lashes look if I finagle it enough to get this to look good on them, if that makes sense. But it really does take work. Like, I can't just whip this wand out, apply it in like 2 seconds, and then go on with my day. It really does take a lot of finagling and time and effort on my part to just slowly build it through my lashes, and then again go through it with the lash comb afterwards. And then sometimes I try to build it up with 2 coats. I feel like this does like hold a curl pretty well, and it makes my lashes look decent if I take the time. But then again, it's like, I don't want to have to do that. This just takes way more work than I'm really willing to put in for mascara. I keep hoping it'll start to dry out. Like, sometimes when you have a fresh mascara tube, it will be really wet at first, and then it'll dry out and get better. So far, this hasn't dried out, and I've had it for a while, and I've used it quite a few times, which is good if you like wet mascaras and you don't like when mascaras dry out. This may be a good option for you. I'm definitely going to use this up. I just can't see myself repurchasing it because it just takes too much effort to make it look good. So my last 2 items are all faves that I want to talk about. And the first ones is actually like a group of items, but it is the new like Charlotte Tilbury brow system she released. I know it's fairly new. I think she released it maybe a month or 2 ago. So I got this into me in PR, but this is her brow cheat pencil, and I have the shade Natural Brown. And then I also have her brow lift pencil. Again, it's in the shade Natural Brown. And then I have her Brow Fix Clear Brow Gel, and then her Legendary Brows Micro Precision Tinted Brow Gel. So of the 3, the one I like the least is her Brow Lift. So this is a little bit thicker of a pencil. It reminds me more of the Brow Definer from ABH. And I just don't love these big pencils. I just prefer smaller ones. So the one I've really been using a ton and loving is her Brow Cheat. This is a really, really tiny microscopic pencil. It reminds me of Precisely My Brow and the ABH Brow Wiz. It's not as small as Huda's, but it is still really good. And I have just been really loving this. The only thing that really stinks is that because it's a refillable pencil, which is nice because then you don't have to like repurchase the whole thing. You can just repurchase the actual brow pencil. So I like that, but I don't like it because when I try to like screw it back down, if I screw it up too much, then it just like unscrews. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't screw down, it just unscrews. So it's just annoying. But anyways, this pencil is really bomb. It is really skinny, so you can get like really nice hair-like strokes. And it lasts all day long. It's a great color for me. I really do love this. And then as far as the brow gels, the Brow Fix, her clear one, I like it. The spoolie is kind of big, but it's a little bit thicker of a formula, so it gets a little tiny bit gloopy in my brows, but it holds them nicely all day long. And then I really do like the Micro Precision Tinted Brow Gel. I have this in the shade Soft Brown, and the spoolie on it is really tiny, so it's really perfect to just really get into your brows. I have just really been using these three like nonstop recently, and I can for sure see myself repurchasing this and then maybe even this like once they're gone. I've just really been loving these. I know Charlotte Tilbury is like a bougie brand, but these really don't retail for that much. I think this is like $25 and then maybe $25 also, and then like $22 and maybe $25 or something like that, which is pretty on par with other brow products. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about them because I've been loving them. Another fave I have is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. So I'm pretty sure that this has been in my skincare stash for a very long time. I'm 99% sure I got this in BoxyCharm, and I have not received BoxyCharm in like over a year and a half. I canceled it in January of 2020. So this has been sitting there for a while, but I just recently pulled it out and started using it. If you can see, I'm like down to here. So I've used almost half of it. It's just a good moisturizer. It does have a pretty strong scent to it. So if scents bother you or trigger headaches or make you break out or anything, I would definitely steer clear. It definitely has like that signature watermelon scent that a bunch of these watermelon products have. However, it doesn't linger very long, like it dissipates fairly quickly. I don't smell it for a lot long after I put it on. And this is just a really great lightweight moisturizer. I've been using it in the morning time, and it's just good to just sink into my skin. It wears really nicely under makeup and plays well with all my other skincare items. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. And then the last item I have to talk about is actually a update. So 2 faves and no ways ago, I talked about the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Wild Oat Hydrating Toner, and I put it in the no ways category. I just said that like I couldn't get past the scent. I didn't think it was doing much for me. I didn't really like it. I actually really do think I like this now. It still has a little bit of that funky scent. I believe in that video I said it smelled like Krispy Kreme donuts or like glazed donuts, which I still stand by, but I guess I'm just a little bit more used to the scent. But now that I've used up almost this whole bottle, I think I'm like down to here, I just like this. It's a toner I use in the morning time. It's the very first step I put on after I wash my face, and it's just nice and hydrating and calming and just sinks right into my skin. I still stand by the fact that I don't really know like what it's doing for my skin per se, but like what toner, like, do you know what's doing for your skin? Like toners are just a random step that I think are necessary, but like it's kind of hard to figure out what they're doing. But this is just nice. It's hydrating, sinks in, and I just wanted to update you that I said before I didn't really love it, but now, I don't know, it's grown on me. I think I love it. And that was it, you guys. That was my current faves and no ways. Some products that I've just really been loving and products that I just think you could probably skip on, save your money. I hope you like these videos. I try to put them up at least every month or 2 months just to keep you updated on products that I'm really loving and products that I'm not. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.